Go, go, go,
Go.
Bangladesh! Again, proving all of us wrong. And sorry, Bangladesh, we underestimated you tremendously.
I mean, to be fair, they won one match before this, and that too against Afghanistan.
Yes.
But yes, big apologies if you are joining us from Bangladesh.
From Bangladesh, very sorry, you have shown us the mirror. Indeed, Bangladesh, after years and years of pain, you finally won in Colombo.
And by the way, this is their first win over India in the Asia Cup in 11 years.
And guess, folks, and yeah, we are shifting to Nikhil, who is there at the Ketarama, and he will not be very happy.
It was India that had not lost a match so far, and it was Bangladesh that had not won a single game in the Super 4 stage. But it is Bangladesh now beating India in a game that was played right here in Colombo, which is where I'm coming to you live from, where Bangladesh managed to beat an Indian team by a margin of 6 runs. Why I say this particular Indian team? Because this was a depleted Indian team. An Indian team that made a total of 5 changes from their regular 11 that they had been playing before this in games versus Pakistan and Sri Lanka. In this particular game, India made a total of 5 changes, which was quite evident from the fact that because India had qualified for the final, they could then go on and experiment. Bangladesh were batting first and then got 265, and 266 was India's target, but India fell 6 runs into a final like that of an Asia Cup. This loss, will it have any impact on that final?
No, I don't think so. As a matter of fact, I think the Indian team will be very pleased with the innings that Shubman Gill has played, because that augurs well for the finals against Sri Lanka on Sunday. Look, it was with 5 changes in the team. It was an occasion to give an opportunity to the non-regular players in the team. People like say Akshar Patel, Shardul Thakur, Prasidh Krishna, Surya Kumar Yadav, who hadn't played so far. So clearly, the full strength team was not there. So that India got, within about 6 runs, within a hit of winning the game. Also, it wasn't like a defeat where India lost by 60, 70 runs. Then you could be concerned, but it's just a loss by 6 runs. And sometimes when you have already qualified for the next stage, teams tend to lose a little bit of the intensity. But I think they'll be all right for Sunday.
Okay, let's talk about this game in particular, Sahibai. At one stage, of course, India lost their top order. Then there were a few partnerships. Do you think somewhere a few shots could have been avoided, and could India have still won the game? I mean, towards the end, did India try to press the panic button a bit earlier? Maybe take it down to the wire, as we often say in ODI cricket helps, but trying to get those big shots a bit early could have been a bit patient going forward. I mean, let's take Shubman Gill. Could he have tried to have finished the game? I mean, stayed a bit longer. Let's take a look at a few other wickets. Jadeja got out at that time. Surya Kumar Yadav got out, trying to get a lot of runs. Could all of them have been a bit more patient, and then a victory here also could have been achieved?
Well, you could say so, but they were all looking to get the shots that would have got them a boundary or a 6. So you can't really fault them in limited overs cricket. And listen, as far as Shubman Gill is concerned, he's got 100. So don't even if he's got out to a shot which you might not like, don't take anything away from the fact that he would have been batting for such a long time. So I think there are pluses in this game, although it wasn't a plus as far as the win losses are concerned. Akshar Patel batting, for example, then Shubman Gill's batting. So there are lots of pluses from the game. The way Mohammad Shami bowled, I think Shardul Thakur was a bit expensive, got 3 wickets, bit expensive. So there were plenty of gains from this game.
Right, plenty of games, as Sahibai rightly points out there. But one minus, 58 for 4, Bangladesh, if I'm not mistaken. From there, you allow them to get to 265, and you'd have to point a finger at India's fielding today. Lots of drop catches. Do you think that was a minus today and something that they need to rectify quickly going into the final?
Definitely. Look, I think fielding is something that drop catches are part of the game, of course, but I think fielding is where teams can make a difference. You save, a boundary, you restrict it to 2 runs. You have, your fielders in the circle are stopping the single being stolen. So There are dot balls which put pressure on the opposition. So all these things will definitely matter. And yes, I think India will definitely have to improve its catching, because you improve your catching, you're getting the best dot ball. A wicket is the best dot ball in this game.
Okay, let's talk about Shubman Gill. You point out a lot of positive for India in this game, and I think the biggest positive there will be Shubman Gill. He's been head and shoulders above every other Indian batsman in this calendar year, almost reaching 1,000 runs, or probably he's crossed that in this particular inning in this calendar year, which is most for any Indian batter. Saiva, just a short while ago, a few days ago, or maybe a few games ago, we were all talking about that patch that he had hit out of form. Do you think he got runs against Pakistan as well? But now with this 100, is it fair to say that that rough patch is behind him?
Yes, I think certainly the fluency seems to be back in his game. And look, I think this is what cricket is all about. For classy players, it's just one innings which can turn it around for you for the better. And that seemed to have happened with that innings against Pakistan, and then over here again, clearly showing the class that he's made of. So I think a real plus that he got 100 today. Big innings.
Okay, just a couple more questions with you, Saibhai, and I want to concentrate on Surya Kumar Yadav. What did you make of his inning? And I think the one telling bit was, it's not about how many runs a batter gets on the day or not. The fact that his entire stay on the crease for those 30, 40 odd balls that he was there on the crease, he just looked out of sorts. What does that tell you about Surya Kumar Yadav, the ODI batter?
Well, I think you've got to understand that he hasn't had a run. He was in the reserve. Now suddenly he comes into bat in a situation where the team has lost a few wickets. So it's not easy for him to get, going from the word go. And that seems to be the situation with him, because he's been in and out of the team, and that is never any good for anybody's confidence. But the fact that he stuck around and built that little partnership with Shubman Gill is the plus point. He recognized that he wasn't stroking the ball fluently, and so therefore he was quite prepared to give the strike to Shubman Gill, take the singles between overs, go and ask. It looked as if he was encouraging Shubman Gill to keep going. So these are the things that you look at. Yes, disappointing in the sense that, when you see what he does in T20 cricket, and then when you see what he's doing in the 50 overs game, you might say, oh, well, he's not really getting the runs. But again, he's not getting consecutive opportunities, which every batter or every bowler needs to try and show that, he's good enough at this level.
The last bit with you, Saibhai, on Surya Kumar Yadav. One thing that you did notice in this innings, and you've seen it in the past as well, whether it's T20 or 50 overs, in T20 cricket, his premeditated shots really give him a lot of dividends. He gets a lot of scoring opportunities and gets a lot of runs with those premeditated shots. Do you think that's the difference between Surya Kumar Yadav, the T20 player, where premeditated shots really help him, and in ODI cricket, maybe, playing to the merit of the ball is the right way to go? So, for example, today, he was hell-bent on sweeping Shakib. Had he looked at that over-pitch delivery, probably would have played it with a straight bat. So this preconceived notions or premeditated shots that work in T20 don't work in ODI. And that's one thing, if he rectifies, he could be a successful batter in ODIs if he plays to the merit of the ball in ODI.
Yes, definitely. Not just Surya Kumar Yadav, anybody. What Surya Kumar Yadav really needs to remember is that he needs to play these, unorthodox shots that he plays only towards the last maybe 10, 12 overs. But while there are more than 20 overs to go, then he should be playing normal cricket, looking to push the ball along, normal shots, not looking to play the innovative shots, the scoops, etc., that he's famous for. That can happen in the last maybe 10 overs when the asking rate maybe 10 runs, 12 runs and over. So that's a mental adjustment that he needs to make.
All right, Saibhai, thank you so much for those thoughts. We'll let him go now. He's going to join our sister channel AajTak for some more analysis on the game. But we'll continue our programming, coming to you live from Colombo. Let's take a look at the highlights. It's a game that Bangladesh won by 6 runs. Exciting game at that. There were situations where Bangladesh were almost down and out, then had a comeback in their batting. India did not have a great start while they were.
Well, Sunil Gavaskar sir doesn't seem to be all that worried about the nature of the loss because you lost by 6 runs. A depleted side,
And it was a second string side.
second string side. But the main question is, why make it second string just for the heck of it?
See, because when we were discussing the team, to add to your point, we said very clearly that you could understand of the 5 changes, maybe 3 of them. You You could understand for sure resting Bumrah and a Siraj. But really, that's it.
That's it. I said 2. I mean, I'll come back to.
Why did you need to rest Hardik?
Why did you need to rest Kohli?
Why did you need to rest Kuldeep?
Kuldeep. I mean, I'll give you 3 reasons. Okay. Virat, everybody was saying, right, his record against spin is a problem. Left arm spin is a problem.
Yeah.
These were the conditions in which Virat Kohli could have ironed out those flaws. It was a typical, you may say, a slow, low Ketarama. It became slower as the game progressed. Now at this point in time, you are not wanting to rest your best player just before a final, wherein it is only going to be a one-day turnaround.
Yeah.
Why? Why even bother with that? And okay, Kuldeep. I was not a fan of resting Kuldeep. I am sorry.
At all.
Because what happened with that? You lost middle overs, you lost the penetration. You lost your container, you lost the will to attack. Aksar, I am sorry, he had to only do a containing job along with Ravindra Jadeja. Jadeja couldn't attack because Aksar was restricted to the role of containment.
Correct.
Kuldeep could have set it up for you in a big way. 59 for 4. You let Bangladesh off the hook. And Kuldeep, if he was there, past instances also against Bangladesh, Kuldeep always hurt them. Here, sorry, you decided that Bangladesh's ultimate bogey, okay, we are resting you folks. Hardik, what was the need to play 2 number 8s today? One, again, now this is a different conundrum that we'll get to. Okay? You want a batter like Aksar, but you want a bowler like Shardul. What do you do?
You don't have one or the other, but as you said, that's something we'll get to another time.
Yep.
I still think you can contain or put in either one or two of either one of them if the team combinations are right. Today, clearly the team combinations weren't right, and you were actually looking to, let's say, fit square pegs into round holes.
Yep.
You made Shardul bowl 10 overs, despite the fact that in ODIs, his best woodwork comes when he'll bowl you 5-6 overs in the middle overs. Why? Because he's more often than not bowling attacking lines, can sometimes be a little expensive, but almost always guarantees you wickets.
Yes.
He gave you the wickets, but then you didn't have penetration when it came to the spinners.
Yep.
Because Akshar and Jadeja are in essence the same spinner.
Yep. 19 overs, 100 for 1. That was...
They didn't even contain. Because they were going at an economy of over
5. Yep.
I'm sorry, in an ODI now, 5 is expensive.
5 is expensive, but then my thing about Shardul is, as I mentioned you earlier also, in a total of 380, 390 chase, if you go at 65, 70, 80, no problem. Every bowler is getting tongued. Like if you had a centurion-like situation in South Africa, Australia, okay, every bowler gets tongued, no problem. But 265, 65 runs coming from 10 overs at 6.5, yes, it is lessened by the fact that you got 3 wickets. But still, Shardul and economy, they don't go hand in hand, unfortunately.
They don't. And actually, but that is a trade-off you've made.
Yeah.
That is a trade-off you make. It's like similar like when you are bringing in an Akshar. You know he's not going to be a wicket taker.
Yeah.
You know at best what you'll expect from him is to play the containment role. It's the opposite with Shardul. He's not going to contain. He will either go for runs or he'll get you wickets. There's no in between. And today you saw both sides of that. But again, even if you take into account his knock, I am more inclined to ask questions from the batting.
Yep. Yet again.
Far too many failures in that top order was. If you look at the first 5 batters.
Rohit Sharma, ball
Silver
stuck onto
duck.
the wicket. He chipped it to point, so he didn't get out to the in-swinger or anything.
For a
Thank
change.
goodness for that. Tilak Verma. Now, this is a very, very interesting. Tilak Verma was being troubled by Tanzim Shakib. Ball was coming back in. You could see at 135, 140. If the ball was coming back in, he was struggling, Tilak Verma. Then he got an inside edge and got bowled. Interesting trivia, folks. 3 years before, 2020 Under-19 World Cup final, Tilak Verma was this with Tanzim Shakib.
Oh.
In that final, and he played an uppercut and it was taken by the fielder there. So, Tanzim Shakib and Tilak Verma. That is a rivalry that goes back to the 2020 final in Potchefstroom at this point. So, Potchefstroom, Benoni. I think it was Benoni. Sorry. Then KL Rahul. Bad shot. Under the circumstances. Ishan Kishan. I am sorry. Horrible
spin.
shot.
Him against spin. I don't know what it does to him. He only tends to play spin well if it's a pitch where the ball is coming on the bat really nicely. This was a bit of a gripping pitch.
And that meant Pakistan's spin bowlers were so woeful at Palagale that you just could not get into Ishan Kishan's thing. That's one thing. Serious questions now on Surya Kumar Yadav.
I think for Sky...
Look at it. Bold Shakib. Who's Shakib?
Left arm.
Agar, Shakib, then you've got Yannick Karya and Akil Hossain.
By the way, Surya's two struggles are any spinner, or rather one struggle is a spinner who will get it to turn away from it. Whether it be a left arm orthodox or it be a right arm leg spinner.
Right arm leg spinner.
You remember in 2022, the T20 World Cup semi-final.
Adil Rashid.
It's always the leg spinners.
Exactly. And not just that. Throughout his innings, Surya looked as if he was wanting to get out. He missed the sweep. He looked very uncertain.
In fact, even the ball which he got, the way he got out, I was thinking, what was that shot? On a pitch which you know is spinning, you went for a sweep shot?
He overdid the sweep. And he did not connect most of them.
Yeah.
I am sorry, you need Shreyas Iyer to be fit.
Yeah, otherwise your middle order just looks sus.
You are, if I was in an ideal world, Surya, sorry, ODI, time
Not
up.
for you.
Time up, sorry. Either I go with Ishan Kishan as my number 4 backup and keep KL Rahul as the keeper, because then he'll sort both that out. There is no question about Shubman Gill now. Shubman Gill has answered whatever it needs be. He is your opener.
He's the only batter who leaves this match with any credit.
Any credit.
Because again, very tough circumstances. Batted for 133 balls towards the end, was badly being affected by the humidity.
Yes.
And by the way, it is killer humid in Colombo. Don't let the fact that it didn't rain actually fool you.
It's humid. And remember, even when he was tired, the shots that came off Shubman Gill's bat, oof, majestic. Before the ball that he got out, he hit 1-6 right in the middle, which went all the way over to wide long on.
Well, you know, one other thing which I think not many people have been talking about, but which needs a bit of discussion: Jadeja's form with the bat.
Yes. Serious questions have to be asked about Jadeja's form.
I am very scared. I am very, very scared because his form with the bat in recent times has just not been there.
It's not been there. Absolutely, it hasn't been there. So, that is the situation with Ravindra Jadeja. And today also, Shakib also, smart captaincy, he knew that Jadeja often struggles against Mustafizur. Jadeja, as a left-hander, a left-arm bowler, he should pick normally, right? But no, Ravindra Jadeja struggles against Fizz. Be it 2016, be it 2015, he's always struggled against Fizz. And that's why, again, a bad shot got out. And that's why Shardul Thakur, again, low full toss, toe ended it to the fielder. And they were checking for, I don't know
I don't know what they were checking. Were they checking for a bump ball, which I still understand? Because if they were checking for the catch, then the umpires need to retire.
But look at the position, okay? I just don't understand. KL Rahul is a number 5. Why couldn't you have played KL Rahul at 5? Get Ishan to be at 4.
But I
why not? See, Tilak got out. Like for like, get Ishan.
No, I'll tell you why. I think it's because, maybe this is just me reading into things, but if they have to be in a world without Shreyas Iyer, where he's not fit for the World Cup, I think KL's are number 4.
Bad call. Really bad call.
Who else? Will you play Sky over there?
No, you won't play Sky. See, I would play Ishan at 4.
Reason being?
Because he's not batted. See, we are reading too much into that
One
fight
knock,
at Palakele. But traditionally, if you look at it, Ishan is a number 4 at max. I would keep, see, you are looking at an ideal world because see, Virat Kohli will slot in back at 3. Okay, so you need one left-hander. If that is Ishan at 4, KL at 5, Hardik at 6.
And where KL at 5, by the way, has flourished.
Absolutely
flourished.
Exactly. Why on earth would you want to tamper with the batting lineup in such a way? I can understand Tilak, okay, he's your number 3, fine. He's done well for Mumbai Indians in that position. But in an international game, that's what international cricket is, a great leveler. IPL, you can get swayed by everything, but I'm sorry, that's a very fickle benchmark.
And by the way, no, I'll tell you also why it is. Because more often than not, most IPL games, you tend to get very batter-friendly tracks.
Yes.
This was not a batter-friendly track.
This
was a pitch where you had to grind it out.
Yep.
And there's a difference between someone like a Shubman Gill, who showed that he has that ability to grind it out, to play along, to take the innings deep, versus what Tilak did, because it wasn't a good shot on his part.
It wasn't a good. See, Tilak had a misjudgment because if you look at it, every ball that was coming in, he was trying to leave it on bounce. But that one just didn't bounce that much and it clipped the top of off stump. So Tilak unfortunately had a bad misjudgment in that case. So I don't understand Surya Kumar's batting measure. Number 6, Surya.
No, I understand. If you remember.
For Hardik.
No, not because of that. I remember when Sky had last played, he was playing in West Indies. He had come to one press conference where he said that, the role which
40 balls.
Yes, the 40 balls role, but here he played nearly 40 balls.
34 balls and just managed 76.
Runs. There he said that I've been told to bat 40 balls but play my natural game. This wasn't even his natural game.
This wasn't his natural game. And
he looked scratchy, very scratchy.
There is a major technical and mental flaw when it comes to dealing with left armers.
No, not left arm. Any spinner who's spinning it away.
Yeah.
Leg spin or a left arm orthodox.
No, but then you look at it, apart from Agar, it was Stark who troubled him.
No, Stark at his best troubles anyone.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you look at his consistent ones, what are his problem? Left arm spin and leg spinners.
Yep. But even if you look at it today, the ball didn't spin that much.
No, it was a poor shot.
Poor shot.
Very poor shot.
Very poor shot. But I think all the talk about Surya Kumar, I'm sorry.
In ODIs, he's not it.
It's not it. Not everybody can make that transition. I can understand that some players can. It's not everybody's cup of tea.
No, I'm sorry. The likes of AB and Virat made it look too easy.
Yeah.
Transitioning.
Kane Williamson also, and also Jack Callis to a certain extent.
Callis, yes. Callis. Actually, but even Callis in T20 eyes, and I'm saying this as someone who saw him bat for 2 years and win 2 titles of KKR, was at best an anchor role.
Yeah.
At best.
But average 35 with a strike rate of 120.
Yeah.
For that position.
Yeah, for those days, it wasn't too bad actually.
Wasn't too bad. So Callis, see, everybody can't make that transition, and Surya Kumar Yadav is proof of it. He may be a magnificent.
He's a glorious batter in T20s and T20 eyes.
ODIs, I'm sorry. I think you've got a problem now with your number 4 and number 8 if Shreyas Iyer is not fit. That number 4 conundrum has not gone away. Shreyas's injury has only exposed the fact you don't have a backup. You don't have a backup. You can't keep KL Rahul as your number 4. He's your number 5.
And also, I remember I had done a video earlier today on Sports Today wherein I had said that, a certain media reports out there saying that maybe they're looking at Tilak Verma as the backup to Shreyas. I'm sorry if you're taking a debutant to the World Cup. It's bad planning.
Bad planning.
Terrible planning.
If that is the case, you're panicked.
100%.
You're panicked. Simple. Now, you are waiting. It's like, it's like a deadline, right? It's like your TV package, you want to get it out at 11:25. But you don't have any planning until 11:15. What do? You scramble, you're scrambling, and then invariably, 5 out of 10 times, there will be a blunder. Same thing is happening. Same thing. And 2019, you never learned from it.
I like how you made your feelings very clear about TV packages.
I see the chaos. And you, my friend, are in the center of that category 5 hurricane that is there at that point in time, because my sympathy is with you entirely, and I can imagine the team management this is the problem of waiting till the last moment. KL Rahul
this
luckily responded, Shreyas did not.
This is actually a case why you find yourself in this catch-22 situations also, because you kept all your eggs in the same basket.
And you kept your cards so close to your chest that even your team members did not know.
No, and also, and here's the thing, I'm sorry, and flog this dead horse again.
Yeah.
But if you had to.
Look at the struggles. See, this one went straight on.
This had to just happen. Look how many times he tried to sweep him and how many times he missed it. And having seen cricket and having known how batting works, that a pull shot, a sweep shot is the get out of jail shot for most batters. It's not the natural shot, sorry.
And I'll tell
get
you
on the jail shot, because that's what you do when you can't read the spin.
And I'll tell you one more
Sorry,
thing.
Arun.
Okay, I'll tell you one more thing. Surya, if he hits the sweep shot, okay, you even saw it in the IPL. Where would he do it most of the times?
Mumbai.
What is Mumbai?
Patta.
An absolute road. You remember that in Delhi and at Ekana,
It didn't work.
he struggled. Now even here also, the same thing.
He needed that 1KD strip very.
Here the problem at the Ketarama, the length was the same as compared to Mumbai. But what was the difference? The
was a
pace. The pace.
the slow nature over here.
Slow nature of the Ketarama. So he was too early into the stroke. The ball went straight through, crashed into the stumps.
This was a slightly slow day, low day for him.
It was a very, very scratchy knock from Surya and serious doubts. Really serious
No,
doubts
I
are
think
coming
the
in.
doubts have been around. I think, again, like I've been saying for a few other things as well. Today you learned that you've not learned.
Yeah,
You've learned that you've not learned.
that's a good. I'll use Shashwat's point some other time in the final tomorrow. But huh?
Well, let's hope
Yeah,
you don't
okay.
get to use it.
Yeah, day after.
Let's hope you don't get to
Could
use it.
happen. Could
You
happen.
could only possibly have a passing mention about it. We could, but let's hope that analogy doesn't come true.
It does. It does. So again, but we have learnt. What did you say? We've learnt.
We've learned that we've not learned.
You have learned that you have not learned. Excellent. Excellent. And that is the situation. But KL, I'm sorry, is not your number 4. Tilak, unfortunately, he got a brilliant ball.
It's
He left it.
He left it. Misjudgment. Total misjudgment. So
It's actually a bit of an embarrassment that, of the two of the 3 Super 4 games that we played, twice we got caught in the spin web.
yeah.
Twice.
Dunit
Sri Lanka.
Pedlalage and Charit
You
Asalanka.
only were able to contend. You were only able to contend with the 2 Pakistan spinners who are out of form right now,
Yeah.
who got targeted even yesterday by Sri Lanka. But the other 2 who were effective with their plans and had their plans spot
You
on,
couldn't tackle them.
you got caught in the spin web.
Yep, indeed. And we joined by Nikhil Shum. Nikhil, can you hear us? Oh,
Me
but
and
we can't
see me?
hear you. Wait.
Sorry?
Yeah,
Now
we
we
can
can
hear
hear
you
you.
now. We can hear you now. Nikhil.
And can you see me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can.
Okay, great. I can't see you guys, but that's okay. Doesn't matter.
Nikhil, when you spoke with Sunny Ji, he said he's not
Yeah.
too worried about the loss because see, it was a second string team and you lost by 6
Yeah.
runs. But we started the debate here by saying we could understand with 2 changes. But did you necessarily had to make 5 changes today? Especially see with the batting, I thought some of the changes were not warranted. 2 in the bowling, I could perfectly sympathize. But do you think these wholesale changes, 5 wholesale changes, were necessary?
Yeah, I mean, I actually kind of agree with him. What is it that you were going to achieve with this match anyway, in terms of result? So, didn't matter if you won or lost, right? So, I think the team knew this very well when they were making those 5 changes that there is a good chance then we can lose with those 5 changes. But I'll tell you what, India did not lose because of those 5 changes. Because if you see where you had them on the mat at 58 for 4 or something
Yes.
they were, or even something
59 for 4.
around that, and then you started dropping a few catch. I think KL dropped the catch, Rohit dropped the catch. So there were a lot of missed chances. From there on, ideally you should not see. Once they got 265, it was always going to be game on. This sort of a track. You just saw a game between Sri Lanka, Pakistan, 252. That was 42 overs. But it was there and thereabouts, right? This sort of a total here can be very tricky. I think no team has chased over 270 or 280 to ever win a game here at Premadasa. So that itself tells you that this is a tricky total. When they got 265, that's when it became a 50-50 game. It's not an easy pitch to really play or stroke, which you saw with most batters. Even someone like Shubman, who got his 100, he hammered spinners out of the ground. That too, bouncing down the wicket, getting that momentum and reaching the pitch of the ball, and then he was clearing them. But in terms of stroke making, where just like flicks and sometimes cuts and all of those to really rush to the boundary, that wasn't happening because it's not that sort of a pitch that you get here. So I think you lost the game not because you made 5 changes. I think you lost the game with the way you fielded today and you let Bangladesh off the hook. So I mean, ideally, from where they were, 230 or something is at best they should have got. And once they did, you should have chased it down. And then, you had firstly like a par total, maybe slightly above par total. And then you did not have someone like, Virat Kohli in your batting order. So that also made a huge difference. So all of that put together is where I think India lost. But I think they were looking at a few things, right? We've got a few answers. So, for example, Tilak Verma, you pick him. I think that's the one thing that this match has highlighted, that we get too excited with T20 performances and suddenly hope that they'll do well in ODI cricket. I don't want to pass a judgment on Tilak because he's been very good in the little span that he's shown us, or he's played at the highest level. But that's mostly in T20 cricket. He's been outstanding in the IPL. But my only point is that, and today also, error of judgment, the ball was an outstanding ball as well. And so just that one failure does not define him as an ODI cricket. We'll only know in the future. But the fact that, you saw these T20 performance getting a chance, like Tilak rushed in. Did we rush him at that level too early? Maybe that's some sort of an indication you got out of that. He may still have a very long career, but some sort of an indication on that. Surya Kumar Yadav, we were all waiting, and I've been one of the biggest advocates of him being in the ODI team. There's no reason that he should be not successful here. He also did not come good. And what I think what I saw with Surya today, and that was more telling, and it's not the runs. Oftentimes people will tell me this average, that average, this and that, which I agree with, but that's not how I'm going to judge a player. Like last 19 ODIs, he's still not got a half century. I'm still not judging him on that, but I'm judging him on the time that he spent on the crease. The amount of deliveries that he faced, it's not about how many runs he got. He was uncomfortable from the word go, which is what scares me. Does he have the temperament then to be in ODI cricket, or is he always restless, who just wants to get going, who wants to manufacture shot, play all these things which work in T20 cricket and does not work in one day? You need that sort of mindset which puts you at ease, as a viewer or even the batter, where you say, oh, it's okay, I'm going to play the ball to its merit and then take it as it goes along. That's all he needed to do. He needed to rotate strike. In T20, you don't really need to rotate strikes. You can play one or two dot balls and then manufacture a shot for a 4 or a 6 and the pressure is off. In ODI cricket, you can't do that. You will, most of the time, you will have to be getting singles or doubles, wait for that boundary ball and then hit it. And I think, all this while I used to keep asking you guys to help me and even our viewers to help me, that give me that one reason why Surya Kumar Yadav, who's good in T20, cannot be good in ODI, and no amount of explanation really convinced me because I saw no reason per se. But I think I'm getting close to the answer of why that is, and I think that is with his, not ability, but his intent to always manufacture shots, for always playing premeditated shots. So I think that why a Surya of T20 now, and this is just a hypothesis, we'll find out as if he gets more chances going forward. But I think why he is successful in T20 is because those premeditated, manufactured shots work in T20 cricket. In ODI cricket, you have to play to the merit of the ball, which is not necessarily in T20. In T20, even if the merit of the ball is good, it's a good ball, you have to manufacture a shot and hit it for a boundary. You have no option. In ODI, you just have to play to the merit of the ball. Loose ball, I will hit a boundary. Good ball, I'm going to defend it or take a single. That has to be the mentality. And I think it's a mental change which he needs to make. And because he's trying to manufacture shots, I'll give you an example today. He was hell-bent because he saw gaps there. Hell-bent on sweeping Shakib al Hasan against the spin, looking for a boundary towards the square leg or the gap between square leg and mid-wicket. He was hell-bent on doing that. Works in T20 cricket because you have no option. Here, and Shakib realized that. He was doing it again and again. And Shakib realized that, just bowled a fuller delivery, and there you go. It was too full to be sweeping, and he gets bowled. Simple as that. All I'm saying is, what would you do under those circumstances normally? Full pitch ball, what is the normal thing you're supposed to do? Play it with a straight bat, you drive it. You should have driven it, towards mid-off or covers or extra cover, that side, and taken a single in the gap. That's all. Or if it really can time it, even look for a boundary there. That's what a regular batter would do who's playing it to the merit of the ball. So each ball has to be played on its merit. No need to manufacture shots. That is only for T20. As soon as he changes that, there is no doubting his ability. He has all the ability, all the shots all the timing, everything is shown us. But this adjustment of in ODI cricket not manufacturing shots, in T20 you can continue to manufacture shots. So that's why I think that's the biggest difference that I've seen in Surya Kumar, and that's been the biggest learning for me from this match. And I will only say one thing: if anyone next time compares him to AB de Villiers, I will smack him right in the face, because that's not how AB de Villiers was in ODIs and Tests.
Exactly. I mean, everybody cannot make that adjustment to all formats. I mean, Virat and AB were simply freakish in that nature. So, yeah, big problems over Surya Kumar, and especially that there is a trend. Left armers, and like you said, Shane, the ball that spins away, especially, but this one was a straight ball that he missed, and serious misjudgment in the lengths, serious misjudgments in the pace, and that is why Surya Kumar Yadav, unfortunately, lot of questions. But remember,
But how many of them are new questions? None.
They're not.
no,
None
it
of them
is.
are new questions.
It has not resulted in the fact that okay, Surya Kumar Yadav should be excluded totally from the ODI setup.
No, you're not just willing to say that. I think there is enough proof. It's just that you're not willing to move on.
You have to now stick to the fact
You
that
made a
Surya-
judgment on Sanju Samson basis for 5 innings, of which 5 innings across formats, by the way. 3 ODIs, 2 T20s.
Yep. But as I said, Sanju plays T20s in ODI World Cup.
That's what I'm saying. So it is just about, like we say, different strokes for different folks. Surya Kumar Yadav, with his enormous amount of talent and enormous amount of ability in T20 cricket, has done enough, and I don't want to take that away from him. But
you can accept
you
that-
have to take a call again. It's about taking hard calls, and I don't know what is stopping them from taking a hard call.
But again, Sanju, different position.
I'm not
different
saying be
role.
it, it doesn't ever have to be
different role.
Sanju.
No, why different roles? Sanju, for his IPL franchise and even domestically, mostly bats at 3-4. He was batting at 5 for India because they told him specifically that, boss, train to be a finisher, you will be our finisher, and then they dropped him.
Maybe see, IPL team composition is different in an India team composition.
No, but Sanju, he's been moved across. Remember, he started his career as an opener, then ended up batting at 3-4.
He will still end up opening or playing at number 3 for his franchise. What was happening last year? He was opening also at times.
Opening, I don't remember him doing it. It was
number
Butler
three.
and
Yashasvi.
Yashasvi.
But he was mostly 3 or 4 depending on the left-right combination who got out.
Yep,
Because
exactly.
at number 4 they would have, otherwise they'd have Devdut. No?
Devdutt Padikkal. Yes.
So it
yes.
was one or the other.
So, but then, Nikhil, isn't it a risk that you dropped Kuldeep Yadav? Because Kuldeep was in fine rhythm, he was in fine form. 9 wickets in 2 matches, and ideally, he was also Bangladesh's bogey. Don't you think that we could understand the rotation and workload management of Bumrah and Siraj? But was there any need to
No,
play
but-
Kuldeep today?
No, but that's the only way. Then you could have played Shardul and Akshar also. Na? Kuldeep is not under test. Kuldeep is going to play in your 11 regularly going forward. He is your, alongside Bumrah, your number 1 wicket-taking option. So I think that, as I said, I don't really mind this loss. And I think the Indian team also knew that you could lose it. It's nothing that you really lose from this particular loss. I think they needed to experiment. It's good that they played Akshar and Shardul together, because now you have a headache. Because you're not going to be playing them together. But it's clearly proven that as a bowler, Akshar has come up short clearly in this tournament. He's not done any good to his credentials as a bowler. Shardul has been by far a better bowler. Today also picked up the most wickets, 3, and the crucial one of Shakib, who was threatening to get to 100. So in terms of bowling, clearly Shardul's a better option, even though they are different bowlers, a spinner and a fast bowler. But in terms of batting, as it showed, Shardul, I think it's been a long time since he's won you a match with the bat. Akshar has been far more consistent with the bat. Today also almost could have taken you to victory. So far better batting option is Akshar Patel. So this is going to be a headache going forward where they have to decide. Kuldeep not playing this game is okay. He's starting your next game. He is going to be playing. I agree. But I'm with that thought that it's okay. You lost this game. And once again, as I said, that you lost the game because of your poor fielding today. You shouldn't have ever allowed them to get this far. You would have picked up more wickets earlier. I think the other area of concern is Jadeja, the bowler, comes good on and off, but Jadeja, the batter, has been some time since he's played a good knock at that position. So that is something, because he's going to be playing going forward as well. So Jadeja, the batter, needs to really find form quickly. The World Cup's around the corner.
Exactly. Jadeja's form, especially, is a big concern.
Yeah, with the bat.
With the
ball,
bat.
I will still say he's done you
Yeah.
done you a good job whenever, but with the bat, yeah, he's not actually had a defining knock for a while.
He hasn't. But I think in the position that he bats in, kind of difficult to have a match defining.
No, when I say match defining, it doesn't mean a 50 or something. A quick fire 30, 40.
40,
Today
yeah.
also, if we had to get that, would have.
No, it could have been what Akshay did today.
Exactly. I
Akshay
was
got
told
40
that
something,
only. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
It could have been
Jadeja
exactly
came in
the
before
same
him,
played
could have
today.
got a, whatever, 30 ball, 48. That's
Yeah.
match defining.
That is. But again, your number 8 situation, you need to bowl like Shardul, but you want to bat
Back
like
like
Akshar.
Akshay.
That is a weird conundrum that is there. We
It-
thought a number 4
it
was a
can-
problem.
As things stand, it can only be some other player which we don't have right now. If you're looking for both those attributes.
See, you got a number 4 problem, you got a number 8 problem. As clear as it can be. Who is your number 8? Shardul will be there, but with the bat, so far he's not done well. With the ball, he's doing well. But are you looking at Shardul the bowler or Shardul the batter?
No, you're looking at Shardul the all-rounder. So if he's not performing with one, it's a concern. Same like with Jadeja. He's been fine with the ball, but if not coming good with the bat, then that's half his effectiveness gone.
Absolutely. So
Jadeja, the other thing that helps him always will
Fielding.
is his fielding. Yeah.
that's always going to be the case. But then that's the problem here. There is skill sets in different players, but there is not one player who can merge those two and
Complete.
solve that problem of the number 8. Number 4 also, I mean, looking at Shreyas Iyer, I hope he makes it to the final. But then,
No, I don't see that happening.
Nikhil, do you see Shreyas Iyer recovering and playing in the final? Because there are also certain reports which were stating that if he doesn't recover for the final and then the
monitoring his
management
fitness.
might take a call to drop him from the World Cup squad. How true are those reports that are circulating?
No, I don't know, and I'm not going to comment on those reports because I don't know what their sources are. But I tell you what, that's logical, right? If he's not even going to be fit for the Asia Cup final, how can you take a player who's getting this? And this is something even before this report, the day he got that back spasm, I think we raised it on Sports Today, and I think I said it at that time that if he's not going to be fit in the next few days, then you have to take a call about him right now and not take him to the World Cup. You can't have a situation where you take a player to the World Cup and then on the eve of the game he's again injured, right? You can't afford to do that. It's just not, and that's logical. So even if a report suggests that 100% something that you'd have to look at, because the problem is he spent 6-7 months just getting better from that injury, and he gets better, passes all the tests, comes here and then pulls up again. And that's scary because it's a long-term injury. They keep coming back. So you rather than go with a youngster, you never know. Probably they played Tilak Verma today because they wanted to see if he's that guy who could be the person who replaces him. It could very well be. And he was bowling also today, if you saw Tilak. So, I mean, his bowling was pretty part-time-ish. But he was bowling. And maybe that's the reason they played him, because they feel that you could really be in a situation where he's not fit. So I must tell you that Shreyas batted yesterday. He batted today as well while the match was on. So he batted today also in the nets right behind the ground. He possibly could be available for the final, but he still doesn't make it to the 11. It's a final. You're going to play your best 11. He doesn't fit into the best 11 now. Could have fitted earlier, but not now, because you are definitely going to play both Ishan and KL after what they've done in the recent past. So even if he's past fit, would you play him suddenly in the final? No. But if he's past fit now, then maybe I could play him in those ODIs versus Australia and see, whether he's the guy to back.
But
if he's not, then I think they'll take Tilak.
Nikhil, one thing I'm just curious to know, and this is something that we saw here in broadcast, and since you mentioned about Shreyas probably doing some knocking around while the match was on, were there other players as well? Because, very briefly we saw Hardik Pandya warming up, we saw Virat Kohli also padded up.
Yeah, well, that's pretty normal, right? Players who are usually not playing in the 11, they go and do a bit of knocking and practice, because it's right, you're in the ground, those facilities are available right behind. You see it during test matches as well, especially when, let's say, a team is fielding, then you see sometimes some batters go and do it, or vice versa. So, yeah, that's pretty normal. Yes, Hardik Pandya went and practiced a bit in the net, so did Virat Kohli, since they were rotating those water boy duties. Virat did it for some time, then it went to somebody else, and then went to somebody else after that.
Yep. But then if suppose Shreyas is not picked, who is your backup? Nikhil?
If Shreyas is not picked for the World Cup.
Yes. If he's supposed.
So that's what I mentioned. I think that's why they played Tilak today.
Yeah,
I think in their minds he's the guy. I remember asking this question to Ajit Agarkar right after the World Cup squad announcement was made, that in case there are any injuries, have you informed a few backups or people who should be ready? He said yes. The backups are the three players that were here and have missed out in the World Cup. That would be Prasidh Krishna, Sanju Samson, and Shreyas Iyer.
Tilak Verma.
Tilak Verma.
Tilak Verma.
So those are your three backups. You could go with Sanju too. That wouldn't be a bad option. Bring him in. He could just be a batter. Look at him as a batter. Doesn't have to be your keeper batter. If you are, pretty much decided that KL is your keeper batter, you could go with Sanju as a backup middle order batter. I don't think that's a bad option. If you ask me personally, I'd go with Sanju rather than Tilak Verma. But I think the team management kind of is tilted towards Tilak Verma. He's also a left-hander.
Yes.
Also give you those few overs, which is what they tried him for today. So maybe they go with him then. But it's between these two.
Tilak, anyway, he should have gotten a wicket also. Had KL Rahul taken that catch.
One very difficult catch.
The one that
It was a difficult catch.
really jumped on KL as well.
Yeah, it was a difficult catch, but at this point, yeah, Tilak impressed with the ball slightly, although he should have gotten a longer spell. I don't know why he got only 4 overs for 21. And then with the bat, Tasnim getting him yet again after 3 years. You remember, Tasnim Shakib got rid of him in the Under-19 World Cup 2022 in Benoni. 2020, sorry, in Benoni. And then after that...
By the way, very, very impressed with Tanzim, the debutant. Yeah? Fantastic bowling. Fantastic bowling.
even
Wasn't
on those-
overawed, fully aggressive.
Yep, even on those good decks in South Africa, he was your star performer for Bangladesh in that 2020 edition because he's from an under-19 2020 batch. Akbar Ali and all the others. Even Shariful. Shariful is also from that same batch, if my memory serves me right. So, Tasnim got rid of Tilak Verma when he played that uppercut in the final. So, I remember that dismissal very, very clearly. So, good on him. I mean, he also held his nerve to bowl a good last over because
And a very good first over, yeah. He got a wicket on the second ball. That too. The
Rohit
big fish.
Sharma, yes. On the wicket, it just stuck on the wicket. Rohit just pushing it to point and gone for a silver duck, unfortunately, at this point. So,
Then completely castled Tilak Verma, one debutant getting the other.
yeah, I mean, he was troubling Tilak with that incoming delivery. He was troubling him at 140 kmph, the ball coming back in off the deck. And the one thing which we felt that it may not bounce much, that happened and hit the top of our stump. So, great ball and good performance in Tanzim. I think they have gotten a good replacement. I don't know whether he's going to be included in the World Cup squad. Let's see. So,
Bangladesh are in fact one of those teams that haven't really announced a provisional squad as yet.
yep. I think they're going to wait until the 27th or the 28th at this point. So,
And see, from Bangladesh perspective as well, they did make some very good footnotes today from this match. And from their point, it was, very heartening. Let's say a couple of points. Forget those, even if you were to keep those aside. That's only consolation for you at the moment. But the bigger footnote, let's say, for Bangladesh over here being the performance, let's say, of their debutant.
yep. And also of Shakib and also Tawhid Hridoy. I think one of the
Hridoy came good finally. Yeah.
another of those under-19 superstars. I mean, if there is one particular match, one particular edition where you've seen the youngsters perform, Patirana, Tawhid Hridoy, Vellalage.
Yeah.
These three youngsters are really setting the stage on fire, and kudos to Tawhid Hridoy for playing. He withstood the bouncer barrage from Shardul, played them well, and that's why it's a really, really good situation when it comes to Bangladesh now. So,
Any comments?
yeah, everybody is now like divided into Sanju should be picked if Shreyas is not in. So, Satish Swaminathan saying Surya, Jadeja are overhyped in their roles with the bat. Jadeja can't learn to play spin in ODI format, which is really surprising being a batsman of the subcontinent. What's your say, Nikhil and Sid? Unfair criticism?
Yeah. I mean, he's in bad form, but
Yeah, Nikhil's gone. I think we've lost the.
let's just take a couple of comments. You have Shan Banerjee saying, you said Shami doesn't fit in first choice 11 for the World Cup. How can you drop him? Fastest India bowler to 150 ODI wickets. Even Bumrah can't break this. In ODI World Cups, 31 wickets, 11 matches. Shan, we already explained our reasons. Your stats are correct, but that doesn't change the logic we
It
gave.
doesn't change. I mean, you cannot pick 3 pacers. That compromises your batting composition and depth. Totally it compromises. And I mean,
I personally will be okay with that. It's just that you're trying to, look for, again, like I said, you're looking for the solution in the wrong place.
Then you need to tell your top order to be consistent.
Exactly.
That's not happening. That's just not happening.
Exactly.
Even against the second string Bangladesh.
Again, if you're looking at answers, you haven't gotten that answer from Shardul Thakur as yet as well. With the bat, if you're making him...
Yeah, with the bat, he's just not had that answer.
Should have, by the way, for the role that you brought him in, he should have won you the game today then.
Could have won you the game.
Exactly. He had the opportunity, he was going run a ball.
And also, if you look at it, he struggled. He really struggled to time the ball. Some of the hits, it just went in the air. Luckily, it fell in
the middle of the
middle,
middle.
where the fielders couldn't convert.
I remember him though, this one short arm jab of sorts from him, which almost bisected the fielders. But when he was denied that boundary, also close to cow corner.
See, the problem is, I mean, Shardul's success with the bat, it's a very small sample size, unfortunately.
In white ball cricket,
Yeah.
in tests he's had more success.
He's had more
but
success in
white
tests.
ball cricket, yes.
I mean, apart from the KKR RCB game and some other instances with Chennai Super Kings in 2021, which are the other instances where Shardul has won you matches with the bat alone? It's a very small sample size. Yeah. So that's why we have once again mixed formats. We thought Shardul, the test batter, he'll do wonders in white
ODI
ball cricket.
Yeah. Not happened yet.
Boss. Can't happen. I mean, 20-30 runs that you can contribute at number 8, that itself is gold dust. Even that isn't coming. And today the situation was plumb for both Aksar and Shardul. But yet you're left with more answers and confusion. What do you do? You need a bowler like Shardul, but you need a batter like Aksar.
But I'm sorry, I will also hold the top order culpable. Far too many failures. How if 2 batsmen in the top order had
Yeah,
to
in the
go
last
down,
3
the
games,
matters.
you've seen 2 collapses. Talk about that.
Yep.
Now you can't, hold it against or hold the sword against the batter
The
coming
lower
in at
middle
number
order,
8.
or 8 or 9. That is the problem. Today, besides Gill, who in the top order actually gave you a performance?
No one.
No one.
No
Except
one.
Aksar, no one else.
Exactly. You actually credit to Aksar. He will probably not be judged for this, but not just the 43 odd runs today and 27 the other day. Had these 43 runs, won you the match today, then
the number 8
different
position
matter.
would have been a very intense debate.
Can we
you
take
are
normal
actually
comments?
waiting. If I'm telling, the indications I am getting from the team management right now is Shardul gives you those 40 odd runs. Okay, we are vindicated. If it's Aksar, no, not quite.
But the problem with Akshar is then who are you dropping? Jadeja? You can't play 3 spinners also.
That's also a problem.
You can't play these spinners. I mean, Sid, Sanju is better than Sky, Ishan, Tilak, MIL. Ishan versus Park was a fluke. Harshit should be more assertive in support. Sanju, like Shane, support lucky man Shardul.
He's not lucky. See, calling him lucky is a bit of an understatement. He's an enterprising attacking bowler, which is why he will either get hit for runs or he will get you wickets.
See,
it's that simple.
I'll go with Harshit's statement that different strokes
For different folks.
For different folks. For Sanju, I have always been stating that Sanju didn't get a rope, he got a thread. And that thread was so fragile
that the minute he got injured,
or the minute he had one failure,
it was used against him.
You were waiting to snap that little thread that you had offered him.
Yep.
5 innings, that's it. That is all that you waited for. By the way, he still got you a 50 in the 3rd ODI in the West Indies, lest you forget.
Yep.
You will not see that. Shubman Gill also, by the way,
Got you a 50
in that same match.
Yeah.
Shubman Gill hadn't fired in those first 2 matches as well, where the wicket turned.
He had not fired ever since the IPL.
Yeah. He had failed in the WTC, he had failed in the
He
tests.
didn't do well in the West Indies.
It's
test.
again, it's
different strokes for different folks.
it's just about removing those tinted glasses that you're wearing at the moment.
But those tinted glasses have come because the management itself wants to create. You remember those glasses which continue to revolve? There is a kind of hypnotic glasses, remember?
Yeah, I mean, see,
they have those glasses.
See, the management clearly backs certain players more than others.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a
Surya
fact.
is a fact.
Sky has gotten that long rope for God knows how long now.
KL has gotten the rope.
Gill, at least I will say, has earned that rope.
It's merited.
Yeah.
That long rope
KL
is
also
merited.
has earned the rope.
No, KL.
ODIs.
In ODIs, yes.
talking
But
about ODIs now.
otherwise,
it took him-
KL was exactly. You waited for him to flounder in one format. Okay, then you said okay, the other, and then ultimately you took a call on him.
It's just for ODIs I'm speaking, not about any other
Because
format.
in
because you're building up to
T20Is
ODI World Cup.
Because in T20Is, he had been underwhelming for a long time.
Yeah.
Same with Test. Test, he'd get you 2 good knocks somewhere.
Yep.
You're like, oh, KL knows the solution everywhere. But for how long he survived off, that 100 in England?
Yeah, I mean,
For how long?
not also recently in that Centurion Test. he's a
Centurion
hunter.
Test.
Yeah,
Exactly.
South Africa.
Yeah.
He
But
had those, he'd give you glimmers. and hope.
The high was reached quite early, but then the fall was also rapid. After the 3-0 loss that he had in South Africa, that's it.
The ODIs, yeah.
He never recovered from that. And then came a string of injuries, which hurt his confidence and also his rhythm.
And those injuries were often long term. Exactly. We'll take one more question. I think we can then go down.
Ashwant, you won't take Ashwant's comment. Okay, fine.
He's saying that I didn't use the match properly because the pitch was good. Actually, that's a valid point. For all considering Sri Lanka in the final, you might see a pitch which favors a bit of spin. What then?
I know, but then why do they not do it? I really don't know. Because
there was too much rotation. Too much rotation.
But people are not really worried.
No, trust me, people.
Some of our senior cricketers are not that worried.
No, I was definitely. I wasn't a fan of
too much rotation.
This much. At most, you could have made 2 changes. Was rotating your pacers. Why did you need to rest Kuldeep?
Why did you have to rest Virat? Yep. I can understand, but then man, I really don't get this thing about rotation player.
For the sake of it, constantly.
I know. So that is the situation.
No, I'm good for rotation in 2 circumstances. One, if it's a dead rubber and a bilateral. Note, I said a bilateral, not this kind of match. This kind of match, I would have wanted my players to keep getting momentum because there's one match before a final.
Exactly.
One match before a final.
One match before a final.
You've lost. Momentum is really important here.
What and I heard Rohit. He said that we only give opportunities to players who are there in the larger scheme of things.
That means Tilak is there in the larger scheme of things?
Yes, he said it in those many words. He said that we made these changes looking at the bigger scheme of things because you want to give people game time as much as possible. And I get that logic.
No, not for a debutant.
I get that logic.
Not for a debutant.
But having said that,
it's too late.
Yeah, now. Why now? Why? What were you waiting for?
Exactly. I mean, see, I'll tell you what you're waiting for. Shreyas' injury.
See, this opportunity.
You had a perfectly good Sanju. God.
Sanju Samson, no. You let him go and then you have destroyed his confidence.
God.
That is the problem. This Indian cricket team management has waited for far too long until the very last moment, until you have reached the precipice.
The brink.
The precipice. Now they are expecting like a Bollywood film that okay, some hero or some miracle will happen and then things will turn around. I'm sorry.
Somebody will rise from the ashes,
from the rubble,
and relieve this country of the pain of not having won anything.
ICC tournament for the past 10 years.
Exactly. It's not going to be easy. And look, you're only creating confusion, something like what Shoaib Akhtar said in the Pakistan team.
He said that don't create confusion.
Please don't create confusion, but with this Indian team, you're only going to create more confusion.
Anyway,
self-inflicted confusion.
It's self-inflicted, but let's see now. The final is a couple of days away.
Yeah.
Let's see how that goes.
It seemed like a very mighty long Asia Cup. Honestly,
I think the rain hasn't helped.
Rain hasn't helped. And because you had a reserve day in that India-Pakistan match.
Additional
so
reserve day.
two back-to-back games.
Yeah.
And short turnaround period.
In fact, not even 2 back-to-back games, basically 3 back-to-back games because one ODI lasted 2 days. Pakistan game lasted 2 days.
10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing that this is an extension of that same ODI, so that's why. It was, luckily, it was not like 2002. Imagine if that game was washed out, you had to start from scratch. Thank goodness that didn't happen.
Yeah, that would have been crazy.
We would have been tearing our hairs out at this point in time.
More so than we were already.
Seriously. So, tomorrow there will be no practice, no nothing for the Indian cricket
It's
team.
all build up to India-Sri Lanka, the big final.
Big final. If Sri Lanka win, it is going to be a record equaling 7th.
And if India win, then it's a record extending it.
8th. Yep, 7 ODIs and 1 T20I, which also Sri Lanka has achieved, by the way. 6
and 1.
No,
last year's was T20, no?
Yeah, so 5 plus 1.
Oh, 5 plus 1, sorry, my bad.
5 plus 1. So
no foreshadowing, guys.
Yep, so that's the situation We are done with the Super Force.
But tomorrow is, remember, big day. Neeraj Chopra day tomorrow.
Neeraj Chopra Diamond League final is coming up at Eugene.
Yeah.
And he looks the favorite to
does.
seal,
Yes.
to become the first Indian to defend a Diamond League title.
Exactly. Win
Two
two of them.
titles.
Yep.
Perhaps.
And what a
Fingers
year
crossed.
he's been having.
Phenomenal.
Two
Doha.
Diamond League meets. He won Doha and Lausanne.
And Lausanne.
Zurich he finished third. Second. Finished second. World Athletics Champion gold.
The one thing he needed to complete javelin.
If he does 90 meters, that's it.
He's completed javelin.
He's completed javelin. Maybe he will then want to match Jan Zelensky's record, defending Olympic champion, defending World Athletics champion in the same cycle.
Twice he's done that, no?
Thrice.
Thrice.
Jan Zelensky's done it thrice. 95, 92, 93, 95, 96, 2000, 2001.
Wow.
That was dominance, and that is the benchmark of genius when you look at
Yeah,
javelin. And
people tried.
also thrown 90 meters consistently.
Right.
Zelensky. So that is the major event for tomorrow, and we are seeing that Australia South Africa is 2-2. South Africa have absolutely decimated Australia by 164 runs. Major injury
Classic.
concerns over Travis Head. There is a feeling he may not make it to India. The nature of the injury is very severe. Yep. And the England-New Zealand match, it looks like New Zealand is already representing a casualty ward. Saudi may or maybe out because
Still
of
about
a
100 runs away, if I'm not wrong.
fractured finger. for
England
Team
are 2
Saudi.
wickets away.
Yep.
England are
And England are going to win it 3-1. After New Zealand had won 3 consecutive, 2 T20Is and 1 ODI, England have come storming back. So let's see. From all of us here, from Harshit, me and Shane, it's bye-bye, and we'll be back soon for the England-New Zealand game. Bye-bye.